Estimados señores y señoras, agradezco su invitación y Bayashusa y me alegro de conocer su región y sus socios. Les invito a un pequeño viaje a través de las perlas de los Alpes. And that was just about it, and I hope you can bear with my English. The bon dia. Alpine Pearls, I want to introduce you to our network, which is an umbrella brand actually for tourism and soft mobility. You've been already introduced to Peter, who is our president of Alpine Pearls and also the mayor of our initiating village of Werfenweng, and I'm a tourism consultant and the director of the project Alpine Pearls. So what is it really, Alpine Pearls? We have an association with 27 villages being member, and those villages offer soft mobility holidays, and we consider them the most beautiful places in the European Alps. The network, the association, was founded in 2006 in Austria, but it consists of altogether 6 countries. I will show you the map. Is it too close? Better like that?
Switch off this one.
Okay. So, our member villages do a lot for soft mobility, develop them, and we as the association, we promote their offers to the target market. And we are building up cooperations with companies, with enterprises, with tour operators, with mobility service providers, bus companies, and so on. Have a look at the Pearls of the Alps. You see quite in the middle Werfenweng and the Alps here. Okay. No problem. Oops, no. No, don't worry. Werfenweng, it's easier that way. And altogether there are 5 Austrian villages, some on lakes, some very much in the high mountains, some focusing on winter tourism, some focusing more on summer tourism. Then we go over to Slovenia with the Pearl of Bled, which is also beside a lake. Then down to Italy, where we have a lot of members, part of them in the Italian-speaking part, and 5 of them in the German-speaking part of Alto Adige, South Tyrol. Then we come to France, where we have 2 members at the moment, one in a national park and one a very big also skiing area, Léger, and 4 in Switzerland at the moment. Maybe you know, you've sure heard of Interlaken and Arosa, which are the most famous ones. And then we close our circle in Germany with the 2 pearls of Berchtesgaden and Bad Reichenhall. Berchtesgaden very famous for national park also, and Berchtesgaden for spa tourism. What is the basis of the cooperation? It has been developed within European Union projects of Interreg in the years of 2000 to 2005, and the finishing of this European Union projects was the foundation of the association, and the base for it is a catalogue of criteria which all of the members have to follow. Contents of this catalogue of criteria consists of basic requirements: how to become member, you have to be in the project area, you have to offer soft mobility generally, you have to be a tourism region, tourism village, just to be eligible to be member. And then it comes down to the criteria of mobility, where we focus very much on. So we look at the mobility for the overnight guests, comprising arrival and departure for them, pickup from the railway station, mobility in the village, and also going to sites and having attractions easily, mobily at hand. Then we have a focus on mobility of the daily visitors, which in many pearls are quite a substantial part. Then, of course, also very important and newly introduced into our catalogue of criteria is the mobility for inhabitants. Beforehand, we were only focusing on tourists, and we've seen that it is one part of the story, but to have an encompassing offer, which is also lived and loved in a site, you also need to include the inhabitants, of course. And there is one big part which is, so to speak, the most fun mobility. That goes from all non-motoric sports to, if you have some motor sports, it must be electrical sports, for example, electric biking, or even making tours with electric cars, or it's actually 80% of it is hiking. A big part of it is biking and mountain biking. So all our pearls offer variety of soft mobility. Some focus more on hiking, some focus more on electric vehicles like Werf and Weng, and you will see more about that afterwards. And then we have also taken into consideration in our catalogue of criteria that mobility on its own is not a holiday. This is an important vehicle, but it's not the pleasure of a holiday. The pleasure of a holiday consists of a beautiful environment with natural treasures. It consists of quality of life, also with, of course, eating, drinking, wine, and so on, drinking. And these products in the gastronomy should come from local and regional products. So this is a new focus, which we think is very, very important. You also cut down on kilometers here if your products are produced locally and regionally. And there is an organizational framework, of course, where we see that every village and every member must work professionally and offer packages, sell them, and communicate with us and with media professionally. So some criteria are must, and some of them are, of course, only premium and so the highlights. So what do we do as an association? We have as a basis the yearly organization of all our communication tools as objective, building the image for our association and for our members. And above the basic communication measures, we have projects. For example, one is to build up a network of SMEs in our villages. That's the pensions, the holiday on farms, and the hotels offering soft mobility. And that means, that does not mean that they have to buy very expensive electric bikes or something. That only means they have to work and focus on sustainability in their hotel and know a lot and really offer soft mobility, which is already in the village. Because we see often here a missing link. The community and the municipality and the tourism association offers a lot of good infrastructures and soft mobility offers, but sometimes it doesn't really get down to the receptions of the hotels. So if a guest asks where's the next bus stop and when is the sightseeing tour to Barcelona, they might not know it. So we work a lot with people there. It's service quality. The next one is to build soft mobility holiday offers, which are really, packed in 3 days, 5 days, and so on. And we see on our website also that good products and packages are liked more than general information on a network. General image building. Of course, people want to see what does it mean, what can I buy, what would it cost. In 2015, we make an advertisement campaign because this is probably one of the most important activities for our members. They really ask us and want us to do more on the market. So our work is not so much in the villages. They really have to do their job and develop excellent tourism products, but our job is to put it on the market. And at the moment, this is just a sidestep from this association, which has Austrian law and is founded in Austria. We are now on the next step to found an European grouping of territorial cooperation, which is a formal instrument of the European Union for associations like that, transborder. And it's more known and I think has a better standing than a national association. And of course, we want to also enroll into new European Union projects. And Jordi has given a beautiful overview, and we are also very busy here in receiving or developing projects and receiving co-financing. At the moment, we are since 2006 without any co-financing. The financement I will show you afterwards. One important task within our activities is the internal communication for the exchange of experience with study tours to our villages, but also to other villages with our members. So it's not only us traveling, but really groups of our member villages. We collect and database pilot projects, and for example, if members have a question when it comes to the rental of e-vehicles, what does make sense and how does it work, we know which member is professional in this and this respect. We have our hiking pearls, which have really an excellent quality. We have the gastronomy pearls, who have an outstanding offer in culinary offers. So we try to connect as good as possible. And exchange of experience is also carried out during our yearly member meeting, where we have now more than 100 people coming, and it's really a conference for soft mobility in the European Alps. And we are not very much a closed group. We invite press for these meetings. We invite people from other countries, and once at the general member meeting, we even had guests from Japan. Young students interested in soft mobility. So if you find an opportunity and a reason to come, we would be just glad to invite you and share some of the experiences. That's also one major objective. We don't want to have a closed job and you know, just internally, but we really, and that's why we are here also, we just want to spread the message because we think it's really great and has a future potential. Much of my work is focused on media work. We have press agencies in Munich and in Milano and in Paris, and we do a lot of print and online advertisement for our members and for the image of Alpine Pearls. Every now and then we even get a TV special on us and radio. We work, of course, with media corporations. Our budget is limited. We always have to look at corporations and partners, of course. And we love to do press conferences and press trips, which are really famous. The best one we did was 12 days without CO2 emissions through the Alps. So you walk and bike and take the train. And every CO2 emission which happened, we had to reduce on another place. So it was interesting. We call it the Alpine crossings, and then it comes really to, you can really tell the people and show the people what is done. It's away from theory. You see what happens if you plan to cross a pass on foot and it starts to snow. So what is really going on? A lot of work is also in our website. Please have a look in 5 languages. Sorry, not in Spanish, but in English or French you might be able to read easily. And we're active on social media, of course. Today you have to be with about 10,000 followers on Facebook. Also in 3 languages, French, Italian, and German. Just one example how we work in practice. If some of our villages come up with an interesting project, for example, a mountain bike cup carried out in more than one pearl, we were the coordinator to have a cup and a joint winner and so on. So the project I've already mentioned is the Alpine Pearls hosts, these hotels. And we also see here that as soon as they are displayed on our website with their services, the clicks go up. So if you display another village which has become member, this is really good, but it doesn't really make the big effect. The effects you have if you put down a hotel offering 4 stars or 3 stars and the soft mobility offer. Organizationally, the municipalities, the members are municipalities or tourism associations of municipalities, and they pay a yearly fee of 12,000 euros. We have opened up the network also for larger destinations, so that's a cooperation of more than one municipality working together in tourism. And here the yearly fee would be higher. That's theoretically. At the moment we don't have any destinations as partners. That's new for us. We've started it in December. When we have a new member, there's an entrance fee of 8,000 euros. And if you add that up, 27 members, we come to a budget of about 300,000, 350,000 per year. And with that, we carry out all the activities I've just briefly touched. What is the relevance for our members? Why do they get member? What do they profit? Most of all, of course, they can use this umbrella brand, which is already really a known brand, small but known, in their advertising, in their media, and so on. And we put this clear common message already on the market. There is not a development potential, but it's clearly here in these 27 Pearls of the Alps, you can already make sustainable soft mobility holidays. So for the smaller villages of our association, it's important because they have limited resources for advertisement. They say, okay, here this one company, Alpine Pearls, focus on this message only. And in the bigger ones, like Interlaken, you can imagine, I mean, they have millions of visitors a year. For them, it's the niche. They don't have to do marketing in this very niche. So we pool the budget for sustainable marketing and also product development, as with the activities I've just explained you, with the corporations also. The international exchange of experience is important for our members, of course. They like this service when we come into the village and do the consulting person to person with mayor and tourism director. And what they see, this is not just this, what we call the green decoration, but they really see the number of arrivals and overnight stays increasing. Some see it only a little bit increasing, and some see substantial increase in their overnight stays. So that is the actual objective. It's not so much giving it the green cap, but really make economic benefit and overnight stays. I've just taken out two small examples what the Pearls do, because we today really want to focus on Werfenweng. One example here is a hiking bus, which is nicely branded, and the people can get off the train, jump on the bus, get to their hotel, and go to their hiking places, be picked up after hiking. So this is something very, very useful and good for the tourists. And another very new is soft mobility with this electric car, which is at the moment the one with the furthest range, the Tesla, and one Pearl in Switzerland. Disentis has now the Tesla for rent. And we think it's important, of course, to have eye catchers in our. It's a marketing initiative, so we really need eye catchers, and we have it here. And I wanted to show you that there are eye catchers. Peter's a little bit jealous that it's not Werfenweng with the Tesla, but we will see. There's another very good initiative for communicating the mobility offers, and it's Interreg within 3 of our villages. They have built up an Interreg project, Moos, Werfenweng, and Vilnius, and they analyzed what do we need, and they have developed really good project to collect all the information for the tourists and to put it into a display and also on the website and also on app to see when is my next hiking bus, when does my train go home, if I have a car, where can I park it, how much does it cost, and so on. So this is a very good application and good example for projects within the Pearls, where Alpine Pearls is not of major importance. The Pearls do it. That's what I find really, really good. So I just would like to hand over to Peter. Just before, take a look at Facebook.com and become friend. We would be pleased to have even more friends and register also for our newsletter, which we send also out in English language. Thanks for that, and we'll see what Peter has to tell you about Werfenweng.
Thank you for inviting. I'm very happy to be here. That will tell you how is soft mobility in Werfenweng, in my village. Werfenweng is a very small village in Salzburg. We have only 950 inhabitants, and it's very important for us to be near the railway station. Bischofshofen is our railway station. 12 kilometers from Bischofshofen is Werfenweng on the south side of the mountain called Tennengebirge. In Werfenweng we have 2,000 guest beds, 55,000 guests over the year, half in winter, half in summer, and the whole overnight stays are 260,000. It's the landscape from village of Werfenweng with the mountains in the backside. It's a very beautiful little village in Salzburger land. The history of the soft mobility is a long history. It was in the year 1994. And the reason was that the overnight stays goes down in Werfenweng, and we had to see what can we do that we become more guests and that we can be successful in tourism. And we created a mission statement, and in this mission statement, the first time we called about Werfenweng can become a car-free village.
But Peter, can I? Peter, can Peter, you say you make this mission statement and to get rid of the cars. Was it easily? Your inhabitants said, yes, please, take my car. Or how did it work?
It was not easy, because 70% of our guests comes from Germany, and the German guests, the German peoples are very lovely to the car. They say it's no life without car. It's impossible. And the inhabitants of Werfenweng says to me, it's impossible to say we can have tourism without car. That's not possible. But we do it. We did it. One of the example for us was in Switzerland, Saas-Fee, Zermatt, car-free villages, and we had the possibility to become a model project in Austria. And the first principal question was, what's the way? A radical way to put a barrier to say tomorrow we are car-free? That was not possible. That was not possible. If we did this, I would never been mayor in Werfenweng. The second way was to begin a process with the inhabitants, with the guests, with the experts. We speak from a way with 1,000 steps, and this way we are today. We had the possibility to participate on some European projects. This was very important for us. One important project was the project for the founding of the corporation Alpine. But it was how is it in Werfenweng? The most important thing in Werfenweng in soft mobility is the SAMO card. die Sanftmobilkarte, this soft mobility card, and it's only possible to become this card if you arrive by train or if you leave your car key in the tourism office. That's very important. Only if you do this, so arrive by train or leave the car key in the tourism office, you can become the SAMO card. The SAMO card is a very good car. It only costs 10 euros per guest and per holiday, and the SAMO card offers free a word of soft mobility. It begins with the Werfen shuttle. It's the connecting the Werfen shuttle is connecting Werfen directly with the train station in Bischofshofen. In Werfen you have the Alois, the electric Alois. Alois is a typical name of Austria, and it's the private taxi to serve our guests. You can call it and you can say, I want to go to the restaurant, I want to go to the hiking point, I want to go to buy something, and the Alois comes and brings you to this point, and this from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And in the night you have the electric night taxi. You can call it and you can go from one restaurant to the other restaurant, or you can go home. Perhaps it's possible. And these services are free. The next you can do in Werfen is to have rental cars. We have a lot of electric cars. More than here, you can see we have Peugeot Eons, we have Renault Zoes, and you can have free this electric car. You can go with the electric car to Salzburg to visit Salzburg. You can go to visit St. Johann. You can go for buy something in Bischofshofen and so on. You can have biogas cars. Our biogas cars go with biogas from grass. They are called grasshoppers. The next we have in Werfen is fun mobility. We have a lot of fun vehicles, electric bikes, pedelecs, e-mountain bikes, scooters, segways, and so on. And if you visit Werfen in the summer, you can see this here in Werfen. And with this fun mobilities, fun electric mobilities, you can go through the streets from Werfen and see the beautiful landscape and enjoy it. The next, what's included in this soft mobility card, in the SAMO card, day tours, guiding hiking tours, nature watch tours, and so on. In the winter time, you have included the horse coach sleds, the horse coach, you have included the ice skating, you have included trekking with llamas, you have included guided snow and snowshoe walking, you have included cross-country equipment. So this SAMO card is a very, very good card. And for us, it's very important from where comes the electric energy. We have solar filling stations for the electric vehicles in Werfen. We have big photovoltaic in Werfen, photovoltaic plant. We have solar street lamps in Werfen. There's a lot of solar energy. It's very important from where come the good products in Werfen. We have regional, there's a farmer shop, and there are regional products you can buy it in this farmer shop. We have biomass heating in Werfen. And it's important that we, not only for the guests we have a SAMO card, we have also a SAMO card for the inhabitants of Werfen. It's called Wir SAMO card, so the SAMO card for the inhabitants. And if the inhabitants don't use the car and go by the bus or use the electric vehicles, they become advantages. And it's very important that we have a lot of winners in our project. One of the winners is the environment, because a lot of tons CO2 is reduced. 55% of our guests arrived by train. Before this project, it was only 6%. 25% now, and before this project, it was 6%. The enterprises were winner in Werfen because the overnight stays increased from 162,000 to 212,000 in 4 years, in only 4 years. And the guests are winners because they have an interesting thing to do, and the inhabitants are also winners because they can use the soft mobility. They can use the Werfen shuttle, they can use the night shuttle, and so on. And we have a credo in Werfen. We say not you must, you don't have. We say you have advantages if you don't use the car. And the way, we have now a long way, the 1,000 steps in the next years. We have a lot of new projects. The Samo cars for day visitors is one of our important projects. We have a lot of day visitors, and we are developing a Samo card for these day visitors. And we have a project for e-mountain biking and so on. So we have a lot of future steps in our project of soft mobility.
Check this. So for Werfen also, of course, it's a real value added membership, and for Alpine Pearls, it's a real value added to have Werfen as this model village, because I have to admit that the others don't have the same services. They have different focuses, and if you want to see this electric mobility and fun mobility, it's Werfen. And if you want to go more hiking, then it might be another, or mountain biking, you might go to another Pearl. But for Werfen, of course, it's great. Here you see our President Peter in his car. It's called the Werfen Shark. It's a twike, and he does, I'm allowed to say it, he does not really have a normal car anymore, but he has the Shark, and he's known for it. And you see here a man, he's a journalist, so you can imagine that really a lot of journalists are coming to see that. And the most important thing for them is always, how do you get the tourists to leave their car key behind? Because you have this big, nice Mercedes, and you really give it away for 2 weeks, maybe, and it really breaks their heart, and we try to knit it together again and give them all the pleasure in the country and in the village of soft mobility. Like with Mahatma Gandhi, we can finish. There are more important things in life than to enhance one's speed, but slow down. So we gladly invite you to visit our facilities in Werfen, and from my point of view also, of course, the other Pearls of the Alps. And we would like to show you what really happens if you do it like Giuseppe Capella in Inma, and the mayor of Mur de Castillo, Giuseppe Castillo, and so on. They have been in a castle and visited the castle, and I will show you what people in Werfen do when they visit the castle. And one day you might come and also want to try it. Let's see if it works. Muchísimas gracias. Me encantaría poder recibirles en las perlas de los Alpes, especialmente en Werfen. Have a look. Have a look.
Cool place, man. I like this dude over here. Cool, man, we're just checking out a very old medieval castle, which is stinking an awful lot.
castle today. It's been a really cool part of the trip, and I'm looking forward to the